today's session for building my fire through movement. I'm going to be training explosive power today. I'm going to be starting off with my dynamic warm-up, which includes some plyometrics, but I'm not going to be doing too much twitchy stuff because tomorrow I'm doing a speed set and I'm going to be doing some sprinting. I had a bit of a hamstring strain from a couple weeks ago, and it's finally feeling better. I've been taking it easy on posterior movements, haven't been sprinting, haven't been kicking too hard. Your hamstring, your posterior is used in so much, and every few years I'll strain my hamstring from just sprinting too hard when I'm too tired, when I'm fatigued, when I'm dehydrated maybe I didn't get enough rest, and I'll get that slight pull. Oh God, in the next couple of days you remember how much you use your posterior in everything that you do. But I wanted to just remind you about this idea that I talk a lot about. Every time you get to move, no matter what modality of movement it is, it's a chance to celebrate what health you currently have in this moment. And I want to emphasize health in this moment because many times we all have goals, right? You should have a goal, you should have a vision of how you want to think, feel, and act in the future, how you want to perform, how you want to look. You should have that vision, but we shouldn't get too caught up on imagining that vision to the point where we don't have any gratitude for what we currently have right now. And it's really easy to dwell on how you're not meeting your goals in performance or in your overall spiritual health connection, in your overall mind and feeling of positiveness and self-esteem. Sometimes it's easy for us to dwell on how we're not looking like how we want to look, or we're not performing how we want to perform. But we need to find something that you currently are appreciative for this moment. Otherwise, to never be mindful and to never be appreciative of this moment, we're always going to be searching. We're always going to be wanting, right? But I think it's important to be able to sit in silence and not have any sort of stimulation through your eyes, your nose, your taste, or your hearing, or your feeling. We should be able to sit in silence, quiet our mind, and find something that we are currently grateful for. Internally, but also externally, what we have, whether that be a home, your family, your job, opportunity, but we should find something inside. Even if it's something of, you know what I'm really grateful for? I'm grateful for my ability to be present with those that I love. I'm grateful for my ability to listen and to not just wait to speak, but to genuinely sit and listen in a meaningful way when our relatives are talking and process that and offer your insight. Even if you don't have nothing to add to it, that's interesting. That's good to know. Even if it's just that. So that's what I mean. You should be able to sit down in silence and find something that you're grateful for today. All right? Because like I said, if we can't do that, we're always going to be searching for something and we're never going to be happy in this moment. So physical training, building your fire, is about that as well. It's not just an aggressive, masculine thing where you're beast mode and you're exerting fire. You know, it's not always just that. It's about being able to be strong. So that way you can give love, and you have kindness, you have respect, you have empathy for those around you, and you also know how to calm yourself. You know how to be beast mode and crazy, but you know how to calm and be in peace, and to be able to provide that peacefulness, that state of comfort around those that you're around. To me, that's how fitness and movement contributes to you as a whole, not just as an athlete or not just as someone who has goals on how they want to look or perform. Movement is beyond that, no matter what modality you're choosing. So, enough said. Ready to get into this session. You can follow along, building explosive fire power so you can bound like the Kuriwai, the mule deer buck. You can move like the Mavi, the desert, the mountain lion, and strike like the Koi, rattlesnake. Let's do this. Starting with these pogos, going for 30 seconds. Improving elasticity here, the Achilles tendon, ankle stiffness for sprinting and footwork. All right, shoes, get out of my shop. Get out of my shop. Too much shit. Right. Let's get out. This beast of a trap bar. This one of my favorite prized possessions. Oh. All right, block number 1. Starting off with this deadlift trap bar shrug for explosive power, force production, putting force into the ground. Then we're gonna go right into this double broad jump off of a plyo box. So working on putting force into the ground and transferring that energy to 2 broad jumps. Then we're gonna go into this med ball diagonal chop with the lateral hop right here. This one's tough because you're striking off the ground and you're going at a diagonal chop and landing on the right leg, and there's no leverage, so you got to be able to absorb that force, stabilize your core, and explode and go back the other direction. And when you're landing back in the other direction, the weight of the med ball, sort of, you have to be able to absorb that force and stabilize to strike again. Block number 2, exercise 1. I'm going to do a pushing, pulling movement for power endurance on the lever arms using a resistance band. If you don't have lever arms, just do the resistance bands pull and then do some push-ups after. Exercise 2 is a med ball uppercut, and I'm using the aqua bag here because I do not have a hard wall that I can slam against. If you have a hard wall, slam against, you're going at an angle like you're doing an uppercut. Add the lateral movement to it as well. If it's too advanced, Just do stationary med ball uppercut against the wall. Now, exercise 3 in this block, I don't really know how to describe it, but it is for building explosive power off of your back. And it's adding this rotational component to it. And I'm also adding this banded component where I got a band around the foot and I'm crunching that leg up and with a dorsiflexion. So we're training hip flexors along with our core. So this is building explosive power off your back. This is great for all of you grapplers. Block number 3, made up of 4 exercises. The first exercise is the heavier lift, barbell on the back, stepping up on just 2 plates, not even a quarter. And we're working on putting force into the ground. For this one, transfers over to sprinting, kicking, jumping. Then we're gonna go into this sort of body weight rotational movement. Gonna hit that. And then number 3, we're gonna go into sort of another lunge, explosive jumping lunge movement. We're gonna be using the steel mace for that. And the 4th exercise is gonna be a plyo push-up, and you can use a kettlebell, some sort of platform, or even a med ball. I didn't realize how much posterior that is too. I feel that in my hamstring. The future is something to grow. That's what I think about in my training at times. Think about in your movement, whatever modality it is, the purpose is changing the outcome of the future. It's changing how you think, how you feel about the world, and how you respond to the world, the stimulus around you. That you take it in your eyes, you saw something, you heard something, you tasted something, you felt something, you spiritually, intuition. That's what your movement is about. It's about changing that, the outcome of your future. Building firepower. It's a chance to celebrate your health, your wellness. Use your legs, use your arms here. Put your intention into your movements here. Don't just go through the motions and don't just go through the movement patterns. Think about it. And Chelsea just rolled up here. Let's see what she has to say.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you for doing all that for Weston.
You're welcome. Did you see that picture of her I sent you?
Yeah, it does look like me in the face, my baby pictures, but the way she sits looks like you.
Dog's already crying.
God, your other son. Your only son.
My only son. So far. Just kidding.
Well, I told you earlier I'll give you one of those foot baths, and then I'll give you a head scratch because you had to deal with all that.
Usually you tell me you'll do that and then you don't.
So I do most of the time I do. There's times what are you doing tomorrow?
I don't know.